The line by Victor Kgomoeswana, author of Africa is Open and Africa Bounces Back. Victor is also the Executive Director for Marketing and Communication at the University of Limpopo. A very good Friday to you, Victor. Welcome.
Good Friday to you, Thami. Good to talk to you again.
It certainly is. Let's get straight into it and just look at the latest developments as far as the Democratic Republic of Congo is concerned and the building of that $1.5 billion transmission line.
Yeah, and the beauty of this, Thami, is that it's cross-border. So it's connecting the DRC to the northern parts of Angola. And therefore, it's a cross-border infrastructure project. It's about 1,100 kilometers. So it's quite a long transmission line that will be taking about 1,200 megawatts to the mining area where copper and cobalt are being mined in the DRC. And the point is, this is a $1.5 billion investment. And where is the source of the investment? The US of A. Again, I always say, when you hear President Trump talk about foreign relations, people behind the scenes are doing the deals. And this is important because the U.S. Development Finance Corporation will provide about 70% of the funding. And this will mean the project will go a long way in narrowing the gap. There's a deficit of about 1,500 megawatts. So this transmission line will take 1,200 megawatts out of Angola into the DRC. It's an American company, Symbion Power Unit, Hydro Link, with a Swiss-based company called Mitrelli Group. I don't know Mitrelli Group, but it's a Swiss-U.S. collaboration in the DRC. Surprise, surprise.
Surprise, surprise. Well, we are seeing collaboration amongst African countries, but you'll remember that in the recent past we've had quite a number of gatherings around illicit financial flows on the African continent, and there have once again been calls for greater collaboration among the African states and different regulatory bodies in order to put an end to this.
Yeah, if you recall, former President Mbeki had this high panel, the United Nations High Panel on Illicit Financial Flows. This is money that leaves countries illegally. And often when we think of illicit capital flows, we think of human trafficking, we think of drug trade. But what the panel led by former President Thabo Mbeki found was that it's only 30% of that illicit capital outflows that are made of things like pure crime. The rest of it goes to what they call base erosion and profit shifting. And if you work for large corporations and these big financial advisory or services companies, they do something called transfer pricing as a service, which means you help a multinational corporation to find a jurisdiction where they can register their company, even if it's just a building where the corporate tax is the lowest or virtually non-existent, and the Cayman Islands come to mind, Malta, these islands that nobody ever goes to except to register these companies. So they are saying that's the bulk of the illicit capital flows. And it was the West Africa Media Excellence Awards in Accra, Ghana, where there was a renewal of this, that there must be civil society capacity building, there must be domestic revenue mobilization, but most of all, strengthening fiscal systems by using the link between regulatory bodies and fintech companies. Because these days, moving money is no longer moving it in suitcases, Thami. It's just a matter of a click of a mouse.
And it's done. Collaboration is a key buzzword. Not only is it a key buzzword, but it really does look like investors as well as corporates and governments are investing not only in infrastructure but various routes as well. I mean, look at this one connecting Jebel Ali Port in the UAE with Berbera Port in Somaliland.
In Somaliland, and this is by, again, you see a deal between two regions. UAE, DP World is a port management company that's just got a presence everywhere. I think even in Johannesburg there's a stadium called DP World something. It's a quay that they're going to build, Stanley, 1,050 meters long, and 400 of that will be real serious cargo. That will be the Triple E vessels. That we are talking a livestock annual capacity of 4.1 million heads of cattle or whatever it is that you're moving. And the 58% of, I mean, this is DP World, an Arabic Middle Eastern company, which also owns 58% of the container and general cargo terminal at the port in Somaliland. So it's not just building the capacity, the key. It already owns a lot of that. So logistics, cross-border trade, especially the link between the Middle East and Africa, is another area of priority. I'm sure we have talked about this, just how significant the Middle East is becoming in African trade and investment.
And to greater increase facilitation, removing the red tapes, looks like the diplomatic quarters are also doing likewise with Somalia and Azerbaijan.
If you watch international soccer, you will have seen Azerbaijan advertising everywhere. You've seen them advertise on CNN. They are just on an aggressive drive to advertise, and they are finding a way of waiving the diplomatic, visa requirements for at least diplomatic travelers for a start, because those are the people who come in and negotiate trade deals between Somalia and Azerbaijan. This is the drive by Somalia, even as it's struggling to establish systems and strengthen its government or the state. It is already increasing, as aggressively trying to expand its diplomatic network and increase its international presence. To show just how much Somalia is struggling. This deal was not even signed in Somalia, Thami. It was signed in Kampala at a conference. So the people are doing deals about Somalia because the country is not yet as stable as you would be wanting it to be, but at least they are showing that they are increasing their diplomatic presence and network.
Victor Kgomoeswana, always a pleasure. Thank you so much for highlighting some of the leading business stories on the African continent.
Always a pleasure.
Have a fantastic weekend. Thank you. That's Victor Kgomoeswana. He's author of Africa is Open for Business and Africa Bounces Back. Victor is also the Executive Director for Marketing and Communication at the University of Limpopo. He takes us to exactly 15 minutes after 4 p.m.
Es-tu préoccupé par quelque chose? Es-tu passionné par les questions qui comptent? As-tu une voix qui mérite d'être entendue? Eh bien, nous avons la plateforme parfaite pour toi. Téléphone-nous ou fais-nous un WhatsApp au +27 66 408 87 42 et nous te rappellerons. Sois dans la conversation.
Salut Chanel Africa, ici